Let's talk about another unit to measure the angle. So the another unit that we can use to measure an angle is known as radian. So in this video, we are going to talk about radian measure. So first of all, we will define what a radian is. So in order to do that, what I'm going to do, I am going to consider a circle. So as you can see, this is my circle with center O. What I'm going to do, I'm going to consider 2 points. So this is my point A and this is my point B. And I'm going to connect point O with point A and point O with point B. So as you can see, I got an angle right here, right? Okay, so how do I know this angle is a radian? So in order to do that, what I'm going to do, I'm going to consider the radius of this circle as 1 unit and let the arc length, which is AB, this length is also 1 unit. So what I'm going to write here, I'm going to write my radius. Radius is my OA and that is also equal to OB and that is 1 unit, right? And my arc AB, my arc is what? My arc is AB and this is the symbol for the arc. So my arc is AB and that is also 1 unit, right? So we all know that angle is equal to arc over radius, right? So as you can see, I want to find the angle. So my angle is equal to arc. Arc is 1 unit, so I'm writing 1 unit over radius. Radius is also 1 unit. And when I say 1 unit, I mean to say that it can be 1 centimeter, 1 millimeter, or even 1 kilometer, depending on what unit you are considering. But when you considering, you have to consider 1 unit for radius as well as the arc. So my angle is equal to 1 unit over 1 unit. And if I simplify further, as you can see, this will cancel out. And what I have 1. Because 1 over 1 is 1. So that 1 is basically a radian. So what is my angle? My angle is 1 radian. So this angle, the one that we were talking about, is basically what? 1 radian. What does that mean? It simply means that if we consider a circle of radius 1 unit and the arc length is also 1 unit, then the angle subtended by that arc at the center of the circle is 1 radian. Now, let's consider another circle. So, this is my circle, and I'm going to consider my circle with center O. I'm going to consider a point at the circumference of the circle. So, let that point is A. So, what I'm going to do, I'm going to connect point O with point A. Now, if I go around the circle, then this is the angle that I will cover. And that angle is basically what? How much is that angle? That angle is basically 2 pi radian. 2 pi radian is basically what? 1 rotation. So if you do one rotation, I'm covering an angle of 2 pi radian if the radius of the circle is 1 unit. How did I get that? Let's see. So what we need to do, we need to use the formula angle is equal to arc over radius, and as you can see, my arc is around the circle, which is what? 2 pi, and then radius is 1, so it's 2 pi times 1 over my radius is 1 unit. Because if you go around the circle like this, around the circumference will be 2 pi times radius, and in this case what I have 2 pi times 1 unit, which is what? 2 pi. So this will be 2 pi times 1 is 1, so it's 2 pi over 1, which is what? 2 pi radian. So the angle subtend at the center of the circle for one rotation is 2 pi radian. Now let's consider an example. So suppose the example is, if I have a circle with center C and this is my angle, and let's suppose that the radius at this time, so this time my radius is suppose 3 unit, and my arc length, the one that I have from A to B, 6 units. 3 units and 6 units. So how do I find the angle? Let's find how much is this angle at the center of the circle. So we all know that angle is equal to arc over radius, and as you can see, my arc is 6 units and my circle is not a unit circle because the radius this time is what? 3 units. So I will write angle is arc over radius, that is equal to 6 units over 3 units. So 6 over 3 is basically my angle, which is what? 6 over 3 is 2 radian. So basically the angle, this angle right here is 2 radian. 2 radian. Now, if my angle is a negative angle in radian, then what I will do? I will follow the same rule like drawing the angle or measuring the angle. I should say measuring the angle clockwise direction, and then that angle will be a negative angle. So for an example, suppose I don't have a space right here, so I'm going to use this place right here. So suppose if I want to draw negative 1 radian for a unit circle, what I will do? I will draw a circle, and this is my starting point, like center O, point A. I will go below that, and I will draw my arrow like this, which represents what? A negative 1 radian. The reason why, because we are going clockwise direction to measure the angle. So the rules for drawing the negative angle is the same. What we need to do, we need to draw the angle the way draw for the degree measure, and then we draw the arrow like in the clockwise direction. So basically it doesn't change whether you are trying to draw a radian or the degree. you always go clockwise to draw a negative angle and counterclockwise to draw a positive angle. And this is how we can explain radian measure for a given angle measure.